What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of Cover 3. I am your host this week, 49ers First Takes, Aaron, and I am joined by the one and only Dre from Dre Area Sports.
Yeah!
We're one man down this week. We do not have Sterling Bennett, but we're going to try to hold the fort down for him as we talk 49er v. Browns. Niners can go 9-4 this week with a victory against the Cleveland Browns. But we have a lot to talk about before we even get into that. We're going to recap a little bit of the Monday night game, talk a little about the Brandon Ayuk situation, and a smattering of other news. But before we do that, Dre, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. I'm really happy to be here. I haven't streamed in a week because we got Thanksgiving. Work's been crazy. So, getting a chance to come on here and talk Niners, dude, I'm hyped. Excited.
It's crazy, man, because it's like, we think about everything that's happened this year with the 49ers and just it's hard to fathom in my mind when I look at the rankings or the standings and they're 8-4 with just everything that's happened this year. It's just crazy. Monday night was a roller coaster ride that I didn't think we were going to go on.
Right.
And mainly that had to do with the play of our one and only starting quarterback, Brock frickin' Purdy. Needless to say, the alarm bells went off pretty loudly on Monday. A lot of conversation about a litany of things that have to do with Brock and should he start? Is he hurt? Did the Niners make a mistake paying him all this money? There's certain people that talk about him all the time. We know who they are. They've been negative about him for ages. And now it's like, oh, it's actually lining up with what everybody's been saying. So, of course, they were right? So.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was very concerning the way Brock looked on Monday night, having gotten extra rest. And, I get it. He's going to be rusty. He hasn't played in a number of weeks. I mean, I obviously played the week before, and I thought he looked pretty good against the Cardinals. But then again, he was going against like third and fourth stringers against the Cardinals because they were decimated with injuries, right? So, look, he was 23-32 for 193 yards, 1 touchdown, 3 interceptions, one of which I will say, not really in his defense, but I thought the defender, J.C. Horn, made a really good play on the ball when he came all the way across the field and picked him off. That was a good read on his behalf. The other 2 interceptions, the first 2, those were concerning because, look, Brock moved up in the pocket like he was supposed to, but he's got to make a choice. He's either got to run or he's got to plant himself and throw the ball. And so instead he did kind of both, and he threw that pass to Ricky Pearsall like Colin Kaepernick would, just throw it on the run, and it was inaccurate, it was short, and he got picked off. And really it's like he could have ran for a first down, or he could have thrown it to George Kittle, who was really close to him, for like a quick short pass that would have yielded a huge gain because he had a step on his defender. So again, I think that when you look at the film, he had Pearsall open deep. The problem is that he didn't commit to throwing. He committed to running and then throwing as he was running. And I'm sorry, Brock is not that kind of quarterback where he can pull that off. That's like a Lamar Jackson type throw where he's just going to run, and as he's running, he's going to throw a bomb accurately. It just, that's just not Brock's game. Brock needed to stop, plant himself, and throw it early on and know that was going to be where it was supposed to go. I didn't like what he did there. I thought it was really bad. And then the first interception, now I'm going backwards with his interceptions, but the first interception in which he threw it to, he was trying to get it to Juwan Jennings. It was late. It was behind him. It was not a good pass. He needed to lead Juwan Jennings with that throw. Instead, he threw it almost behind him, which was an easy interception for J.C. Horn. Two bad throws by Brock Purdy. Both receivers had an opportunity to catch that ball if it was thrown on time. And this is something I talked about on X. I was having a debate with my buddy Tyler LaRocca. Brock is the kind of quarterback that when he's on time and he's accurate, then he's extremely effective, right? When he's not on time, and right now because of his injury he's recovering from, I think his accuracy is not as sharp as as it can be. So I think that his timing, with the timing being off and his accuracy not being there, he's not as effective of a quarterback as he should be for the 49ers. And look, he looked really good against Arizona. He threw for 3 touchdowns, but Arizona sucks. They're a crappy defense, and Brock has to play better. Look, he's going against, fucking the slapdick Panthers, a shitty Cardinals team. He's going against the Browns that have a horrible offense. And after the bye week, he's going to be going up against the horrible slapdick Titans, which these next 2 games are so winnable games before we go against the Bears, the Colts, and the Seahawks. So he's got to right the ship. He's our quarterback. He has to figure this out and stop making those kind of mistakes, which he's been making since last season.
Larry Krueger seems to think that he's hurt. He's still not healthy. And I said this after the game. I said this during the game. I said this on the stream on Tuesday with Mike. Shout out to Mike. Had him on last week. Awesome.
Mike.
I said to Mike, if you're on the field, you're expected to play. If you're not healthy, don't play. Because if you're on the field, the expectation is if you're on the field, we expect you to be like you've always been. Did he look late on a bunch of throws? Yes. To me, he was hitching instead of just, the controversy with Mac Jones is Mac is extremely immobile, but he is a 100% pocket passer. The ball comes out quick with Mac Jones. That's something that I think 49er fans, we started getting kind of accustomed to when Mac was playing, and Brock is just different in the way he approaches things. I just think like he's reading the field slowly. He doesn't look like he's processing information very quickly. He doesn't look like he's putting a whole hell of a lot on his throws. It's concerning because like if you ask Brock and they talked about it after the game, he didn't want to use his foot as an excuse. I just hate it to be one of those things, Dre, where we hit the off season and then somebody interviews him and he says, yeah, the foot was a problem, blah, blah, blah. It happens all the time. That's the one thing I can't stand.
He might, you never know, but I mean, I still think that his foot is bothering him, his turf toe.
Oh, 100%.
It's limiting some of the things that he does. Yeah, he ran for a first down in that game, but then later in the game when he had a chance to run for another one, he tried to throw the ball on the run. And right now, Brock Purdy has nothing on the ball. I mean, yes, we've already known that Brock Purdy doesn't have the strongest arm out there, but his throws lately have just been like Ken Dorsey-like, where it's just change-ups. Yes. You know what I mean? Where you're just like, oh boy, come on, man.
I was thinking of Chad Pennington. Pennington. I used to call him Paper Airplane Chad when he played for the Dolphins.
But at least with Chad Pennington, especially with the Jets, he still found a way to win. You know what I mean? But but that's what Brock has to do. Brock has to become, I want to say it was last year that he became this quarterback where it's like, I'm going to throw the ball downfield. I'm gonna stretch the field. I'm gonna go for the bigger shots down the field. When he was successful in 2023, he would do that only when it was the right time to do it. And now he's trying to throw the ball deep or at least big chunks all the time. Yeah. And to me, he's got to go back to what was working for Mac Jones in a sense where if Christian McCaffrey's open in the flat, give him the ball. If George Kittle's open for a short gain, give him the ball.
And the one that he forced into the end zone against with Ricky Parasol, two guys flashed in front of him. I think one was Jawan Jennings from right to left. I think, I'm not positive. Don't quote me on it. And the other one was Kittle. It was like a wheel route, or not even a wheel route. It's more of like the old 20 halfback curl X up, the route that
Fuck,
Craig
listen
ran.
to you.
That was, well, I remember it from the videos. It was the route that Craig ran on the touchdown to Taylor, where
Right.
he ran like a halfback
Okay,
circle.
yeah, that one.
Yeah, the Texas route where the running back appears in front of the quarterback kind of directly. But like
Sure.
the throws were there. Why are we forcing it? I said this Monday or Tuesday. I said the comparison is always like, oh, he's a gunslinger. He plays like
He's a
Favre.
gunslinger.
Without the requisite arm strength, though. He doesn't have the tools to be a gunslinger. And I felt like in 2023, and I know a lot of 49er fans are getting really sick of hearing that talk. Like, I'm sick of it. That's the last time he played good. He used to take what was there. He didn't really go too crazy with a lot of deep throws. A lot of it was like scrambling and finding the open man. Now it's like pushing the ball downfield for pushing the ball downfield's sake. I don't understand it. We watched the game, me and you, and we could see a halfback or somebody flash in front of him, and yet he's going completely into coverage. I don't understand the mindset of Brock.
Yeah.
Do you think he's feeling the pressure of having a backup?
He is. I think he's feeling the pressure of having Mac Jones as his backup, knowing that he played. I don't want to say Mac Jones tore it up, but Mac Jones played pretty damn good. Damn good enough to where you could have gone with Mac Jones the rest of the year if Brock could not come back. And you would, like, if Brock was injured, you would not think twice about it. You'd be like, yeah, let's just go with Mac. But here's the thing. I feel like the fact that, he's eager, he's very competitive, but he's eager to prove that he is the quarterback, that they made the right decision in giving him that contract. And I think that is what's affecting his judgment. That pass to Ricky Pearsall, it was unnecessary.
It was totally unnecessary.
Because you had George Kittle open right next to you, or you could have ran for it and he would have blocked for you. So you got to take what the defense gives you. There was a window where you could have got it to Ricky Pearsall, but that window closed quickly because you were moving up in the pocket and you decided to run. And then you changed your mind and tried to throw it to him, but by then it was already too late. And so he cannot be pressing to try and make things happen. Mac Jones, if there's one thing that I'll say about Mac Jones is that you never saw Mac Jones pressing. You never saw Mac Jones trying to force the ball or make a throw that maybe that's not really his kind of game. Brock has been doing that. And even in the game against Arizona where he threw for 3 touchdowns, he threw 2 passes that should have been interceptions. And they were both dropped in the defender's hands, dropped by the secondary. So that would have given him 2 more interceptions on the year if they would have hung on to those passes. So what I want to see from Brock is this. I want to see Brock Purdy be better at taking care of the ball, be smart about where he's going, use his checkdowns, use shorter passes if he has to keep the ball moving. You're not Peyton Manning. You're not Joe Burrow. You're not the guy who's going to, just gouge you in the air. That's not really his game. And I feel like that's what he wants to be. He wants to be a gunslinger, a guy who forces the ball downfield and gets that big chunk yardage. And to me, that's not his game. I think he can make those throws, but it has to be selective. It has to be, within the rhythm of the offense, not just like, okay, I see McCaffrey's wide open, I'm going downfield. It's like, no, that's not who you are. We got to remember, this is Mr. Irrelevant. He was the last pick in the draft for a reason.
Yeah.
Now, and those reasons were all based, not all, but mostly based on his physical talents. He was a smaller guy, not as, doesn't have this, the cannon arm. But what did he have that most scouts couldn't decipher? Is that he can process defenses. He's smart with the ball and makes the right decisions. Doesn't turn the ball over. That's what made him successful in 2022 and 2023. Last year, he pressed. Because why? He had guys that were out. He knew he wanted to get that contract the next offseason. So you saw him trying to do more. And Cam's dad, he may have been a gunslinger his whole life, maybe in Iowa, but when you go to the professional level, it's a little different.
He did throw a lot of interceptions in Iowa, too. That was one of the knocks on his game. as he was a little bit of an interception machine at Iowa. So it's not like he's playing differently than he ever has. It's just, I feel like now, I don't know if it's just luck. I don't know if it's just how the dice roll sometimes. Like in a lot of this stuff in the past, especially 2023, maybe he not necessarily got away with things, but like things didn't come back to bite us in the ass.
Well, there was a lot of plays that a lot of throws that Brock made that were just throws that you were like, oof, that was almost an interception, but it didn't. The dice kind of rolled in his favor,
right?
And we overlooked it because we're like, hey, that's great. But now a lot of defenses have adjusted to the way Brock Purdy plays.
Yep.
And so now he has to adjust back, and it's a matter of can he make those adjustments and keep the offense moving. And I think he can because he's a smart quarterback. But by not having his full range of motion in terms of his mobility, that is really kind of making him more of a pocket passer. And, watching, like, was it yesterday? I was watching the Packers game. I saw Jordan Love, not that I think Jordan Love's, a phenomenal quarterback, but I saw Jordan Love a number of times throw the ball away. Couldn't find anybody, throw it away. You know what I mean? Like Brock Purdy lately seems like, he drops back, can't find anybody. I'm going to throw it there. And then it's like intercepted, or it gets tipped and almost intercepted, when it's like, dude, either throw it away, live to play another down.
Yeah.
And so I think,
and you don't go broke taking a profit, which means if the open underneath thing is there, throw it.
Yeah.
Stop with the gunslinger. You can't have a pea shooter and want to be a gunslinger at the same time. The two things don't fit together.
That throw to Pearsall, if that's Joe Burrow, if that's Matthew Stafford, that's touchdown.
Josh Allen, yeah,
that's touchdown. And I think sometimes Brock plays with the mentality that he's like those guys. And I'm not saying Brock is a bad quarterback. That's not what I'm out here trying to say.
No, I totally understand what you're saying.
It's like when you got a Chihuahua who's trying to bark at like a Rottweiler, because it's kind of like, hey, I get it. You're fierce, you're tough, but that's a little out of your league. Now, can he make those throws? I think if he plants his feet and throws the ball, I think he has a better throw, and the timing has to be better, but he can't just throw it on the run and expect to nail that throw.
One of the things that is talked about with Brock Purdy when he struggles is the weather. And I want to bring this up because if you think things got bad this week, could get worse. Let's talk about the weather forecast for the game is expected with, I saw it said rain expected to turn to snow, 25 to 35 mile per hour winds. Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski says to expect all of it. And he says that Jim Schwartz gets even more aggressive in bad weather games, adjusts his calls and scheme, and leans into the chaos. So if there's ever a game where you got to play it safe and let your playmakers kind of do their job, be a facilitator, be a point guard, it's a game like this. He's struggled in weather games. It is a proven fact. He's not going to wear a glove. That was in the press conference, I think, on Wednesday. And he doesn't seem to think that there's an issue or this narrative that there's weather affects him. But he also says he's aware of the weather and, you got to make certain choices and taking care of the ball and all that stuff. But what do you think, man? Like, how much more nervous are you now knowing that it's going to be? I mean, I live in the Northeast, so this weather to me is like a Tuesday. But for a West Coast team, you being a West Coaster yourself, Dre, like this is like, for me, this is nothing. For a West Coast team and West Coast football team or West Coast people who are not used to this is tough.
This is tough. This is gonna be really tough. I just pulled something on the screen. You mind pulling that up?
Yeah, go right ahead. Oh, hold on. Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Who is that?
I don't remember his name, but it's from the movie Gremlins. Gizmo. Okay.
That's Gizmo. Okay. Gizmo has rules. He's cute. Everyone loves him. Great personality. He's kind. He's great. but you can't get him wet. You can't feed him after midnight. And so Brock Purdy's kind of like that. He's kind of like Gizmo, where it's like, hey, Brock is great. Oh, but you can't get him wet because he can't play in the rain. Can't play in the snow. He turns the ball over. You know, he has these limitations. He has these things where you're like, oh, don't feed him after midnight because he'll turn into a bad quarterback. Whenever he plays Monday night, he plays horrible. The game against the Ravens, I think, was Monday night last year, and they got, or in 2023, and they got crushed. So, and I say that because, look, everybody loves Gizmo. But I'm telling you, you get him wet, the gremlins come out. And so when it comes to Brock Purdy, if he plays in the rain, he plays in the snow, the gremlins come out, man. All of a sudden, he starts making mistakes. He's not accurate. He loses the ball. Brock Purdy has yet to show the Niners that he can play in bad weather.
Yeah.
I mean,
Buffalo
he did
game was another bad game last year.
Another bad game. Now, we kind of did it in the playoffs against the Packers. I mean, he won that game, but he played 3 bad quarters of football.
Yeah.
In the fourth quarter, he started playing better, and then they won the game. So Brock has to show, not only that, he has to prove himself that he can play in bad weather. And so far, he's been extremely ineffective in bad weather environments. And that's what worries me about Brock Purdy going into this next game on Sunday.
Here's another thing, too. I'll bring this up, and it has to do with hand size. Hand size, to me, it's kind of a weird thing because I remember growing up, Troy Aikman has humongous hands, but he had an issue gripping a wet ball. So if you look at this, Jalen Hurts, 9 3/4 inch hands, Lamar, 9.5, Brady, 9 3/8, Brock Purdy, 9 1/4. Mahomes and Baker Mayfield are the same sizes, and Joe Burrow is smaller. So, like, I don't get it. Most of those guys, I can't say prosper in bad weather, but this thing with the hand, I don't know if it's the grip, how he grips it. Does he have to adjust his grip? Does he have to wear a glove? He says he's not going to wear gloves.
Not gonna wear a glove.
I'm thinking, like, why? Or at least put one on your other hand.
Yeah, I'd put one on the other hand. I mean,
so
I'm not a quarterback. I don't know.
What do you think about the hand size thing? I mean, they talk about it for other things too, but we won't go there.
They talk about it for a lot of things, but I mean, even Jared Goff has small hands, and that was a big thing with Jared Goff.
Kenny Pickett's got the cheese, the Burger King hands. You know, for the
he's got the fat fingers. But no, I mean, look, hand size is hand size. I don't know. I don't know how much. You know, the scouts will probably tell you how much that comes into play. I don't know. I'm not a scout. I don't give a shit. But look, he's got the same hand size as Joe Burrow, so there's something you can hang your hat on. Like, hey, got the same hand size as Joe Burrow. Hey, Patrick Mahomes. Exactly. The problem is that, you know, he doesn't have a strong arm like Patrick Mahomes or Joe Burrow, or as strong of an arm. I should say that. And so his downfield accuracy is not as great as those two because they have a stronger arm. They can, you know, they can put that ball right where it needs to be at with a lot of force. You know, Brock is one of those guys where he doesn't throw very hard. He throws with accuracy. He throws with timing. And so Kurt Warner kind of brought this up earlier in the week saying, you know, it's really easy for receivers to catch his balls because he plays with accuracy and timing. But it also makes it very easy for defenders to intercept his balls when he's not playing on time and his accuracy is suffering. And, like, you know, Tyler was arguing me saying, well, if every quarterback played with good timing and accuracy, every quarterback would be really good. Right. But Brock Purdy has shown that he can consistently play on time with really good accuracy.
Right.
But I would say last season he waned a little bit. This season he's not been as accurate. He played really good week 1, still threw 2 interceptions, threw multiple interceptions against the Jaguars, and he threw 3 interceptions last night or this past week against the Panthers Monday night. And against Arizona, he almost threw 2 more. So at what point are we going to say, hey, Brock, I get it. You want to get the ball downfield. You want to be a gunslinger. You want to, you you want to go for the big play.
Yeah.
But at a certain point, you have to say, look, you have to go with what's open. You have to take what the defense gives you. And if Christian McCaffrey or a shorter pass is there, you need to execute that pass and keep the offense moving because that's what is most important.
The thing is, he's done it before. He's capable of playing well.
Absolutely.
That's what I don't understand. It's proven. You brought us back against the Lions. He was one of the biggest reasons why we made it to the Super Bowl in that NFC Championship game. It was the play of Brock Purdy. Good throws, running around, making plays. Like, I don't get it. It's like, I don't know if he's like mentally something is off with him. He is capable of playing well. I will say this, and I'm going to ask you this question because I saw you tweet pretty much the same thing I did, but during the game last week, at any point, were you like, we got to bring in Mac in? Like, we got to bring Mac in. I got to that point. I'm like, it might be time for Mac Jones. Not because I think there's a quarterback controversy and all that stupid silliness, or that, Mac Jones is a better quarterback and he should be the starter forever. I don't believe any of that. But based on the fact that we're in the playoff hunt and it's a winnable game against a bad team, that's the thing. They're so bad, the Panthers. And like the fact that we only won 20-9 was super concerning. That
or
game
the
should have
fact
been
that
over
we
at
won
halftime.
with 3 turnovers, almost 4 with McCaffrey fumble. Luckily, McKivitz landed on that.
Yeah, what did you? I mean, like, were you of the mindset of like, hey, I love Brock, but maybe tonight's just not his night?
Yeah, I was more on the lines of Brock is not having a good night. You can tell by the by the third interception, he was rocked. Mentally, I think he was a little fucked up by the time he threw the third interception because then the third interception was the defender, J.C. Horn, making a phenomenal play on the ball. And so at that point, you're like, dude, what is going on right now? And so I think it got a little bit in his head. Second half, he did play a lot better.
Mm-hmm.
He hit some big passes to George Kittle. And to me, he played in the second half the way he should have been playing the entire time. When you look at the game, when you look at the first drive, nothing flashy. Short passes, giving the ball to McCaffrey, keeping the offense moving.
Yep.
And to me, if you continue to play that way, you'll find big chunk yardage down the field as that offense keeps going. But I feel like, he was trying to force things. Now, look, we won the game. I'm happy about that. I'm stoked. But there was never really a point in the game where I felt like we got to get Mac Jones in the game because we might lose. No, the entire time I was like, I don't see how in the world we're going to lose this game. So Brock's got to figure it out.
That was some bad quarterback play in general in that game because
both of them look horrible.
He's not good either, their quarterback.
No, Bryce Young sucks.
Yeah, he's pretty bad. Cam's dad, we won, but I'm the type of person, Cam's dad, I project. When I watch games, I project like, how would we do against said team with this kind of performance? I said to myself, if we were playing the Rams and this was happening, the game would have been over in the first quarter. We would have done. We would have been finished. It would have been 28-0. I'm sorry that's how I think. Go ahead.
Yeah. The comment here, any news about CMC, heard that he didn't practice. It was a vet day. That's according to Kyle Shanahan. So he just got the day off.
Yeah. For the amount that they use him. Did you happen to catch, speaking of Chris McCaffrey, his interaction with Roger Craig and how emotional Roger Craig got? I was like, that moved me. Yeah. I was like, aw, poor Roger.
Well, I mean, Christian McCaffrey is a generational talent, and I think he understands that.
They're very similar in how they played. They could run and catch. He was the first guy to really get 1,000. I think he was the first ever to be 1,000 receiving and 1,000 running the ball in the same season.
He may have been that. I don't know. But what I do know is that Christian McCaffrey had 7 catches for 53 yards in the game against the Carolina Panthers. I mean, when you see 7 catches, 53 yards, you think that's a receiver. And it's not.
Right.
I was just about to check that too. The Eagles, something is wrong with the Eagles offense. It's really bad.
It's so really weird. Bad. The Super Bowl they put, it's like, can't they should be able to play like that every single time.
I mean, Rams officially have,
no one's beating the Rams this year. It's not going to happen.
I don't know. If the Eagles can figure out their offensive issues, they could beat the Rams because they have dude. The Eagles have an outstanding defense. Don't give Jim Everett the Great any kind of compliment. Come on, man. This guy's a diehard Rams fan. He's one of the worst. What's up, man? But
I'm just no. I think the Rams. Dude, let's be honest here. I want to be an honest fan. The Rams look great.
They do.
Their defense is really good. The only way I could see them losing is if they could face a team that can get pressure with their front four. Because no matter who you are as a quarterback, if you can play everybody in coverage and only get 4 people rushing the passer, even the great Matt Stafford, because he is pretty damn good, is affected. They haven't faced one team this year really who's been able to harass him. He's just sitting back there and just throwing lasers every single game with no any type of resistance whatsoever.
But like when you look at the Niners, they have a similar philosophy. I'm sorry. When you look at the Eagles, they have a similar philosophy as the Niners in the sense that they're the kind of team that they want to score early and then have their defense suffocate you.
Yes.
And when they don't score early and they fall behind, then all of a sudden their offense can't do shit. And right now they're down 17-9 in the fourth quarter. They're probably going to lose this game. I picked the Philadelphia Eagles to win too. That was my mistake.
Of course.
So I'm going to lose that game. Thanks a lot.
Hey, so I want to transition to some other drama that's been going on. We had our stream last week, the 4 of us. We talked about Brandon Ayuk at length. And then the report came out that the 49ers had voided his deal in training camp for reasons we didn't know. It turns out it was, not going along with the team's rehab process, missing meetings, all that kind of stuff. Don't know if the Niners are going to continue trying to get more out of him as far as guaranteed money. Kyle's trying to say like, oh, he's going to come if maybe there's a chance he can come back, and we're still trying to work towards that kind of resolution. How are you feeling about that, man? Like one thing is that me and Sterling disagreed on is I didn't think he was coming back this year. No. I did not think he was coming back. And Sterling was like, no, it's going a certain way. That's just how it works. And I'm like, yeah, I know, but like there's differing tones from different people. So I don't know.
So when the Niners voided all of his guaranteed money, so essentially they can pretty much walk away from his contract and not have to worry about the guaranteed money. It's going to save them a fuck ton of money. It'll save them $84 million over the next 3 seasons. That's going to allow them to go out and get another premier pass rusher. And I think that's what they're going to do. And I would not be shocked if they at least kick the tires on to see what Trey Hendrickson wants. I could see them going Trey Hendrickson, because imagine having Trey Hendrickson and Nick Bosa.
Joey Bosa.
He's having a good year. He's actually been healthy this year. It's kind of crazy. But anyway, they're going to save a lot of money on that. But my thing is this. The whole thing is fucking weird. The news breaks. We find out about it. Everyone's shocked. Brandon Ayuk doesn't even file a grievance.
No.
He says just let it happen. Like, is that how bad he wants out of here? Is it that bad in Santa Clara on the Niners that Brandon Ayuk is willing to give up all of his guaranteed money just to be released and out of here by the end of the season? I don't know. It's crazy to think about, right?
Maybe he doesn't care about winning. Maybe he just cares about getting paid. He doesn't have.
Well, I mean, I would say it's the opposite. I think he cares about winning and not about getting paid because he gave up all of his guaranteed money. Most people, I'm talking about 99% of all NFL players would say, you sign me this contract, you need to trade me. I want to be traded. Nobody gives up all that money by not showing up to team practices, showing up to team activities, team meetings. Like, he literally ghosted them.
Yeah.
And maybe he didn't think that they would do this. Maybe he didn't think, oh, they won't void my contract. But they did. They voided all of his guaranteed money. So he's going to be. Let me see. I had the breakdown from Tim Kawakami. It was so good too. I was going to share it today. I was going to do a stream with Tyler about this, and then work ended up taking up all my time.
One of the things, though, is that was a contentious contract negotiation, and there was a point in time where they were going to trade him, and then the report is that Shanahan rushed up to his office and said, he's going to take the deal, don't trade him, and they didn't trade him. And like all the talk, regardless of who you talk to, is that the Niners were never happy with that deal. The front office was never happy with that deal. And I'll be honest with you, I think the 49ers have been looking the right way to get out of that deal. And boy, oh boy, did they jump on it as soon as it happened.
Okay, here's the breakdown that'll kind of make things a little easier to understand. To make it simple, if Ayuk is released without a post-June designation, we saw this last year or a couple years ago with Eric Armstead, the 2026 dead cap hit is about $29 million. Okay, they're not going to, no way. If Ayuk was released with a post-June 1st designation, dead cap hit is about $8 million. In 2026, in 2026, and then 2027, it's $21 million. If he's still on the team, he'll count for about $15 million on the 2026 cap. So, obviously, if they're going to move off of him, they're going to go with the June 1st, post-June 1st designation and go that route.
Right.
Which we saw this with Eric Armstead.
Yep.
And then he was essentially released from his contract, and then he went to go sign somewhere else. And I think that's what they're doing. That's what they're going to do with Brandon Ayuk. And I like that he put this out there because then it gives you a little more clarity on what the fuck is actually happening here. Because, look, there could be a team that says, hey, I want to trade for him.
Right.
And I want to do it before your June 1st designation because I want first dibs at trying to sign this guy. But here's the problem. Brandon Ayuk is not playing. He has very little value.
Yeah.
Now, Sterling's saying he's going to come back. Mike Garafolo says, he might be coming, he's trying to come back. I don't think he's going to come back.
Why?
Why would he come back?
Yeah, why would you want him back?
He has no guaranteed money. What if he goes out there and tears his ACL? What if he goes out there and hurts himself?
Right. Here's the thing, too, is like, I totally forgot what I was going to say. As soon as I said that, it disappeared out of my brain. Go ahead. Keep going.
But why would you come back without any guaranteed money?
Right.
If all that guaranteed money was still on the fucking table, I would say, yeah, I'm going to come back. I'm going to do the best I can to ball out on the games that are left. And then when the season's over, the day after the fucking Super Bowl, I'm going to say, I want to be traded. Trade me. I don't want to be here anymore because I want to keep all my money.
It doesn't make any sense because Richard Sherman said you're screwing yourself. You're not fighting for the money. And then, first of all, you're coming off of a massive, massive injury. Your whole knee was imploded, man. You lost it all. ACL, MCL, PCL, meniscus, you name it, he tore it. Okay? So no team in their right freaking mind is going to say, oh, Brandon Ayuk's a free agent. I'm going to sign him to the biggest contract we can for a wide receiver. No, you know what's going to happen? They're going to go, let's do the medicals. Let's take a look at him. We'll give you a 2-year deal, $18 million per. There you go. Thanks.
That's what it gets that. I don't.
And if you would have been smart, they could trade him and get value for him. And a team that signs him would have to promise to renegotiate or something and take it on his money or whatever. He's not going to get that. Richard Sherman thinks it's stupid business.
They should have traded him back when they were going to trade him to the Browns or the Steelers, whoever the fuck he was. The Steelers.
I would have took. Who were they going to trade us? Mickens?
No, Pickens. No.
No. Who was Pickens?
They were going to get. What I've heard is that it was supposed to be a second round pick and a third round pick in last year's draft.
That would have been amazing.
That would have been fucking amazing. I was like, dude, this is what Sterling reported. That his source said that it was a second and third round pick. I was like, dude, I would have done a heartbeat. I mean, look, they were a little shorthanded last year, but even when Ayuk was healthy, he was a non-factor because he was out of shape. You could tell. They should have made that trade. They should have just moved off of Brand Ayuk immediately. That would have been a great trade to benefit both teams. But this, I mean, look, this is great. This is great news for San Francisco. They're going to gain $84 million over the next 3 seasons. That's going to allow them to go out and get a premier player. I'm saying it's a premier pass rusher because you know how much they love their premier pass rushers. I mean, they might even go for a defensive tackle. I still think Trey Hendrickson, because they showed so much interest in him at the trade deadline. I think they would love to have him on the team.
Love that. So
I think they're going to pivot off of Brandon Ayuk, and they're going to probably sign a premier pass rusher.
They need to.
And then I think that in the draft, first round, they're going to get a wide receiver to complement Ricky Pearsall.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. I just.
But it doesn't make any sense why Ayuk would let himself get into the situation where he's giving up all of his guaranteed money.
Doesn't make any sense.
And then why go out on the field? Imagine if he goes out there and something like what happened to Fred Warner. Someone rolls over his ankle and breaks his ankle. You know what I mean? And then it's like, oh my God, this guy. Now he's out for who knows how long. And he's going to try to get... Look, my thing is this, is that it really feels like there's... and this is more of like a tinfoil hat. But to me, it feels like there's some kind of guarantee out there. It feels like there's something there that says, hey, look, no matter what, maybe Jaden Daniels is saying, hey, dude, we'll sign you.
Yeah, front office has talked to him, yeah.
Yeah. Is it tampering? I don't know. Maybe. But I think there has to be some kind of assurance in why he let this happen, why he ghosted the Niners and the training staff and all that. It's a weird situation. And when Kyle finally talks and when he's questioned about it, he says, oh, no, the whole idea is for him to come back. And he hasn't been cleared yet. I'm like, whoa, hold on. Now he's coming back? You just told me he lost his guaranteed money back in preseason.
Yeah.
It happened so long ago. And now you're telling me he's still going to come back? If I'm Brian Ayuk, I'm like, why would I want to come back?
If I'm them, I would be like, why in the world would you want a cancer like that to come? Why? Because he gives you an extra weapon that you're not going to throw to if Brock Purdy's struggling? Like, what's happening?
And then if he comes back, how effective is he going to be? Is he all of a sudden going to be like, tearing the laces off the ball? You know what I mean? Is he going to be like that good? Probably not.
No.
You're going to see him as much as you see Jordan Watkins and Ricky Pearsall now, which is like a fucking fat zero. Pearsall had 2 catches for like negative yards or some shit. I was like, whoa, okay. What was that about? Pearsall had 2 catches for 6 yards. That's
funny. That's
our number one receiver.
Kruger said that he looked amazing in training camp.
He probably did.
Him and Brock were like that was another thing where he said because he was so healthy in training camp, Brock, that like one of the differences that he sees now and he knows that something's wrong is just how he looked and how he looked with this offense. So take that with a grain of salt if you want. I want to kind of start moving in towards the, our defense versus Shedeur Sanders. The Bengals aren't the most, I would say, offensively stimulating team. They do have 2 good tight ends. But this is a quarterback last week who got his first start in the NFL. And it was, I think he played okay. I mean, it was 3 big throws that he made. He only completed 11 passes last week, Shedeur Sanders. But
he had the big throw.
But he had the big throw. Yep.
And that was like a whoa. But other than that, he didn't look all that great.
He didn't look all that great. And this is a game I think the 49ers defense can repeat what they did against oh my God, Carolina. And not let them score a lot of points. I think this has the potential, even with as bad as our defense is and as many guys that are missing, that this has the potential because of the weather, because I think we're overhyping Shedeur Sanders, that this could be a really close game that the 49ers can somehow pull out.
You know, I was happy for Shedeur Sanders.
So was I, in a way.
When he won his first game, until he opened his fucking mouth.
Yeah, exactly.
And he said, I'm just imagining if I would have had a full training camp, full offseason, I'd be dangerous. I was like, you know what? Go fuck yourself.
Yep.
This guy has he's not humble whatsoever.
None. He took it from his daddy, but his daddy was one of the greatest players of all time. There's a difference.
Yeah, Dion can say whatever the fuck he wanted because he was that damn good.
Yeah, we signed him for 1 year just to get a Super Bowl, and we did.
He hasn't proven anything. Now, will he play good against the Niners? Well, I mean, the Niners defense isn't exactly the greatest. They can't get much pass rush.
They don't stop the run well.
Well, I mean, they're okay against the run. I think they're better against the run than they are at getting a pass rush.
Last week, they gave up almost 6 yards a carry in the rushing attempts that they actually allowed. They just stopped running the ball.
Let me see. A rushing defense for the Niners is ranked. Where is it? They have the number 9 ranked rushing defense, tied with the Chiefs.
They're
allowing 100 yards on the ground.
Okay.
So to me, that's a lot better. Now, it's going to be shitty weather. So this is going to be a run-first offense on both sides.
Yep.
Their running back Ford is not a world beater. So I'm not worried about him. Nick Chubb isn't even there anymore.
Yep.
So their running game really doesn't hold, much water in this argument. But I think that they're going to run the ball a lot. Shedeur can run with the ball, but he's not really a runner, but he can if he has to.
He can move for sure.
But passing defense in defending the run, the Browns are the number 2 ranked passing defense. They got good corners too. They got Denzel Ward out there. So they're going to do a good job at containing the passing game. The problem is that the weather's so bad, I don't think they're going to throw the ball all that much.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to throw the ball. Kyle Shanahan throws the ball even in a monsoon.
Yep.
But this is going to be fucking our O-line against their front four, and then we're going to be running the football. And I think there's going to be a lot of throws that are like screen passes, short in the flat, check downs. That's what you got to do. And it's got to be quick passes. Get rid of the football because Myles Garrett, Malik Collins, and former Niner, those guys are coming after you. And that pass rush is extremely good. Extremely good.
Yeah.
Now,
go ahead.
When you look at total defense, the Browns have the number 2 ranked defense in the league, only allowing a total of 273 yards total.
That's amazing.
Now, the Niners have the number 3 ranked passing offense, averaging 249 yards a game through the air. But that's going to be sort of handicapped and disabled because of the bad weather. And running the football, the Niners are ranked 26th in the league, averaging 99.2 yards a game. So here's the thing is that, we've been seeing the Niners get better the past weeks in running the football. Dominic Pooney looks like he's getting more and more healthy and stronger on that knee.
Yeah,
Ben Barch is back. And I think because Ben Barch is always getting injured, that's why we're going with the Ben Barch, Spencer Burford kind of combo unit, because they're like, let's limit how long he's out there for, so we can kind of keep fresh bodies out there next to I
never thought
Trent.
of that. They're trying to minimize how much he's on the field.
I think so. They're like, hey, let's just do this and see if it works.
Right.
Now, the big matchup of the game will be Myles Garrett against Trent Williams, because I think Myles Garrett lines up on that. He's kind of like Nick Bosa, where he prefers to line up on the right side, but I'm sure they can move him to the left, and he'll eat McKivitz alive.
Oh.
But I do want to see him against Trent Williams. But this is going to be a tough game for the Niners because their offense is going to be limited, especially if the weather gets really bad and starts to rain. We know that Brock Purdy has struggled in bad weather.
Yep.
So now you're playing into the defense's hands. They're like, hey, you're limited. You can't go downfield. You are going to keep everything short so we could play a soft zone, keep everything in front of us, and focus on stopping the run. If you're the Niners defense, Well, the offense sucks. So you're just like, hey, stop the run, stop the run, stop the run. Let them throw the ball. Let Shador have to beat us through the air and go against Demo Lenore and Renardo Green and Upton Stout. You know? To me, it's going to be about our front four. I think for as a defensive line, it's stop the run. And who do we have to stop the run? We have Jordan Elliott. We have CJ West, Alfred Collins. Those guys are going to be the main guys on this defensive line because they're the run-stopping defensive tackles. And you got Kalia Davis too. But those are the big guys that stop the run. And so if they're effective in shutting down the running game for the Browns, then I think we win this game. But I think it's going to be really close. This is not going to be a high-scoring game, I don't think, because of the bad weather.
I don't think it's going to be either.
And with Brock throwing 3 picks in great weather, now I'm like, okay, hold on now. Like, how much do we really want to air this out when the ball's wet? And, Brock just doesn't – should I go back to Gizmo? You can't get him wet. Otherwise, he turns into a gremlin, So it's you just got to be careful, man.
You can't feed him before the game either.
Yeah.
Speaking of our defense, because you mentioned our defense, the Niners signed linebacker Eric Kendricks during the week. And I watched a video with which is crazy because we could have had him last year, and he screwed us, and we got stuck with Devondre Campbell. We all know how that went.
Bastard.
Larry Krueger seems to think that that he's going to be he could essentially, they're going to put him on the practice squad, but he could essentially start for this team soon. Based on the inexperience at linebacker, the fact that Nick Martin is inexperienced, that he's kind of a work in progress. Who's the middle linebacker that played last week? That
Curtis Robinson.
Curtis Robinson is really a special teams linebacker. There's a lot for the 49ers. There's a lot the 49ers put on their linebackers and how much responsibility they have. And it just seems like that they've seen that it's just not for what they want to do on defense and how much they're missing. They went out and got a guy like Henderson. And from what Larry is saying, it looks like he's going to start at some point. They could start him this week.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I think that if he's going to start or even play, I think after the bye week is when you see Eric Hendricks take over for Curtis Robinson.
Okay. I can see that.
I mean, you see Tatum Bethune, he was out there. I mean, he made his mistakes, but he's getting like 15 tackles a game. He's flying around. Curtis Robinson, and look, I like Curtis Robinson a lot. I think he's a quality player.
Mm-hmm.
But defensively, Curtis Robinson only had 1 solo tackle and 3 total tackles.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like he was flying around. I think that Robinson's better in pass coverage, but getting a guy like Eric Kendricks, a guy that you wanted to go with last season while Dre Greenlaw was out, that's going to help. He's a veteran linebacker.
Yep. Not the same as he used to be.
No,
but
he's not.
He's still. I think at where he is, his level. I think he's still better than what they got out there. I mean, Jalen Graham is your depth. And I mean, do you really want Jalen Graham out on the field if Robinson goes down?
Your depth is Jalen Graham, Nick Martin, and what's the other guy?
No, it ain't Stone Blanton because they
not Stone
him.
Blanton. That guy gets released like every other week.
57. I forgot his name.
Anyway, but that guy,
no one cares about him because he's not good. So
he's not good. He looked terrible out there. Remember, I was like, it looked like Aaron trying to cover a tight end. Just like,
I've got bad knees.
I need backup. So look, that's going to help the Niners defense a lot. Getting Eric Kendricks, especially if he can play at even close to a high level, that's going to help them a lot. And look, I showed you the video of Fred Warner rehabbing.
I saw that.
Let me ask you this.
Watch.
But let me ask you this. Do you think there's any chance that Fred Warner comes back?
Oh.
No.
I
think there is, man. If we get in the playoffs,
Trey, you are an optimist, and I love you.
I'm telling you right now. If we get in the playoffs, divisional round, If we get through the wild card, I bet you he comes back for the divisional round of the playoffs.
Oh,
I really do.
God. It would be a wet dream of mine, but I don't think it's happening.
Think how big that would be for if the Niners beat somebody in the first in the wild card round, and then you go the next round and you get Fred Warner back. Like, holy crap!
If you listen to Kruger, he was saying that he thinks the Niners can beat the Rams, and he thinks the Niners can make noise in the playoffs. I don't feel that way.
I mean, what's make noise? Win a game? Win two games?
He said they could beat. He thinks that they could beat the Eagles if they played good. Which, I mean, the way they're playing now, I mean, that is a doable thing. But like, it all depends on Brock, and if Brock's going to continue to be a pumpkin.
Well, but here's the thing though, that when it comes to the defense, look, they played really good against the Panthers. The Panthers suck, we know that, but they played good against the Panthers. I mean, they were shutting them down. They got great safety play from Jair Brown and Mal.
2 interceptions. That was crazy.
2 interceptions, clutch interceptions too.
NFC Defensive Player of the Week, first time in his career. Probably the last time too, but that's okay.
I think a lot of these guys are starting to fall into their roles within the defense. There was a lot of changes going on, but now they're getting more comfortable with where everybody's at. And if there's any help on the way, after the bye week, you're probably going to get back your Gross Matos if he doesn't tear his hamstring again. So at least you get another pass rusher. Yeah. I mean, that's what he is. He's a pass rusher. He's not a run stopper. He's a pass rusher. So now you have at least somebody else to throw out there and move Keon Clark inside. At tackle. Yeah.
I was just going to say that. You put him inside, and then all of a sudden you could have I wouldn't call it the NASCAR package. I would call it like a
slightly better pass rush.
The go-kart race, the go-kart race package.
The boxcar racing or soapbox race.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that it gives you a better pass rush than not having him. You know, Sam Okawanu is going to be out with a high ankle sprain. He'll be out a couple weeks. He won't come back till after the bye week. They're going to let him sit out this week and next week. And then if Gross Matos comes back, then he might sit out for the Titans game as well. And then you bring back Sam O for your big 3 games against the Colts, Colts, Bears, Seahawks. And let me ask you this. Breaking news, it happened yesterday. Did you see the video of Daniel Jones in practice doing some play action passes? He has a fractured fibula. Fibula. I'm like, how in the fuck is this guy? You can't play him. If I'm the Colts, I'm like, dude, we can't play him, dude. He's playing so good. He's playing on one leg. You should have seen it. He looked horrible.
Hey, but Joe Burrow said it last night. They asked Joe Burrow why he's playing, and they're 3-8 or whatever, and he said, "We make a lot of money playing a child's game, and it means a lot to the fans." That's what I like to see. The modern athlete. I talk about how soft they are and how they don't want to play, and that they miss games for stupid injuries. And Joe Burrow said it. What I've been saying all along. It's a child's game. If you can play, if you're healthy enough, you should get out there. What the hell was I going to say?
Here.
Let me say this to you while you're looking for something. If I told you in the beginning of the season everything that has happened to us so far, and that we have a chance to go into the bye week with the 9-4 record, you would have thought I was on drugs. But it is a possibility.
It's a possibility.
Crazy, right?
The Niners could be 10-4 by the time in the next 3 weeks. They could be 10-4 if they beat. Now this is Daniel Jones. So after the Titans game, we have the Colts. Look at him.
Oh, dude, he's moving like Mac. He looks like Mac Jones with the knee brace. Why would you play him? If I'm a defender, I'm going for his leg. Like the old school.
I would not play him at all. I would not. And so,
oh my God,
break for the Niners, because let's say they sit him out and he's out for, I mean, you're talking about what 3 weeks from now, so he'll probably play by then. Who knows? But if he sits out that week as well, and you go against Anthony Richardson, that's a whole different story, dude. That's a huge handicap.
I mean, the Niners can't stop a mobile quarterback to save their life, no matter who's on defense.
Yeah, but Richardson's not mobile though. Richardson just throws the ball deep, really, 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 really well. That's about it.
Yeah, he's like, it's funny. I compared Richardson to Lance if the Niners would have kept him, and forced him to start. That's what you would have had. You would have had a guy that didn't play much college football, that has raw skill, but will never develop into anything because he never got enough experience at the lower level. Somebody told me that I had to block somebody yesterday because they said, it was the whole the cone always, the cone clique always loves to shit on Brock Purdy. They've been doing it. And now that it's, he looks bad and he's been playing bad, now it's like justified, but they've been doing it. And I told the guy, I said, you would have probably been okay with Trey Lance. You probably think they got rid of the wrong guy. And he's like, they did get rid of the wrong guy. So right there, I lost all patience for that conversation, because it's like, you still believe after all this time and everything we've seen that Trey Lance was a better option than Brock Purdy.
If Trey Lance,
based on what?
If Trey Lance was a better option than Brock Purdy, Trey Lance would be starting elsewhere. He's not. He went to the Cowboys. He went to the Chargers. Not granted, he was behind Dak Prescott. He was also behind, what's his face, Justin Herbert. But last year, Dak Prescott got hurt, and they went with Cooper Rush.
And he's horrible.
and so they didn't go with Trey Lance. They weren't like, hey, let's throw Lance in there. This guy was former number 3 pick in the draft. No, they didn't do that because
Oh, go ahead.
No, because they probably realized, hey, this guy's not very good. Got a lot of talent, but can't really put it all together. But let me ask you this. I'm stealing this from a tweet, but I'm asking anyway. And anyone who's still in the chat, I want you to answer as well. True or false? Brock Purdy will throw 0 interceptions against the Browns.
True.
I say false. I think he'll throw at least one, because he can't help himself. Are you going to read it to yourself?
So much on Brock. I don't want to hear anything when we win 4 out of 5 games because of Brock. With our defense needs to outscore teams and take chances. I like Jones, but he throws mostly 5-yard passes. Oh, man, you got everybody's attention. False. I'm actually being... You guys suck. The one time that I'm being positive and everybody agrees.
Here, make a banner for it, for the question. Will Brock Purdy throw 0 interceptions? True or false? He says false. I think he will. I think he's going to throw at least 1 interception against this defense. I think they're going to pressure him. He's going to freak out. He's going to throw an interception. And I'm a Brock Purdy fan. But I think he is going to throw an interception. At least 1. Maybe 2. Because that's been his MO all season. Against Arizona, he almost threw 2. Against the Seahawks, he threw 2. Against the Jaguars, I think he threw 2. Against the Lions last year, when we threw for 4 touchdowns, he threw 2 picks. He's not conservative enough when he needs to be with the football. And he needs to learn how to take care of that ball, because if he starts turning the ball over against this team and the Browns end up scoring a touchdown or a field goal and they're up 10-0, this defense will suffocate you, especially in bad weather where you can't drop back 30 times. So anyone still watching, or if you're watching this later on, leave a comment in the comment section below. Will Brock Purdy throw an interception against the Browns? True or false? I say true. I think he's going to throw at least 1. He's been consistent with that.
I'm going positive only because I'm saying he's not going to, because I don't think they're going to attempt enough passes for him to make a mistake. I think it's going to be a 15 attempt type game, and they're just going to depend on their run game and defense to try to facilitate some sort of offense. I just don't see them pushing the ball downfield at all.
No.
But
I mean, I think he'll take some shots like he always does. But
I want to
dude,
I want to bring this.
The Bears just beat Philly.
The Bears just beat the Philadelphia Eagles.
24-15.
They essentially just rammed. The Rams are going to wrap up home field really quickly soon.
The Eagles have lost 2 in a row. They lost to the Cowboys and now the Bears. So the sky is falling in Philly.
The Super Bowl champs. Wouldn't it be something if both Super Bowl champs and the Super Bowl runner-up don't make the playoffs this year?
Well, I mean, I think they're 8-3, or maybe they're 8-4 now. So they're still in the driver's seat to get in the playoffs. And but the Chiefs, they're 6-6.
Crazy.
I want to bring this up 10-6. Go ahead.
So I saw this. I had to bring it up. The 49ers have $103 million in dead cap and $66 million in player contracts on IR right now. And they're 8-4.
It's crazy.
Insane. Total cap allocations is about $321 million. Cap space, they're fifth with $20 million in cap space reserve lifts. You know what's crazy about the $20 million? They roll that over to next year, and the money that they're saving with Ayuk, like you said, why not go all in next year and move and try to get a pass rusher? I would go, dude. I'd get 2 defensive linemen in free agency.
Yeah, well,
that's all I would spend my money on in free agency. I'd get another D tackle and another edge, and that's it.
It sucks that the Super Bowl is in Levi Stadium this season, not next season.
I know, and that's the sad part, because it's we know in our hearts that they're probably not going to go.
No,
and it would be amazing.
I think the Niners know that. I think the Niners know, hey, look, this team has too many injuries for us to say, hey, we're going all in. Because it's kind of hard to say that we're going to do it. Now, if the Niners somehow squeak their way into the Super Bowl, I'm just throwing it out there.
Jeez.
I mean, you're going to be doing it with a ragtag team of pass rushers.
Right.
It's not like Nick Bosa's like, hey, if you guys make the Super Bowl, I'll come back. He's not. There's no way. As far as I know, there's no way he can come back.
No. He looks pretty comfortable sitting up in that booth right now.
I know.
Can we stop with the booth crap? Can we stop showing players injured in the booth? Stop, please. But like the 49ers, it's like, oh, it's the Niners. Everybody's always hurt on their team. It's like when you watch a Cowboys game or a Chiefs game and they constantly go to the press box. With the Niners is, let's look at the injured reserve box up and there it is. 2 of your the best players, $66 million in cap space, sitting in your press box.
We got an injury update right here.
Oh boy.
Okay, Grok, go away. There we go. Injury status, courtesy of RSF Niners. Raj from RSF Niners. So against Cleveland, Bethune out. Sam Okawanu out. My boy ADP out.
Oh man.
So those are your 3 outs so far for the game, and we knew these guys were probably not going to play.
I just can't believe ADP is hurt that badly, or man.
Well, and I think they want ADP back for the playoffs, so they're like, hey, take this week off. You got the bye week, and let's see where you're at after that. And until then, Matt Gay will continue to kick the ball for the Niners.
I'm really gay about him kicking for us. Happy and gay.
Did you hear the comments? People were like, oh, yeah, it makes sense that San Francisco would sign a guy with the last name of Gay. I was like, God damn it. Come on, guys.
That's like a low-hanging fruit type of
It
joke
really
right
was.
There. Come on.
But this is what I was talking about right here. Let me show you this. And I brought it up earlier, man. I'm telling you, dude, there's something up here. There's something to this. Look at Fred Warner. And that's the ankle that he hurt right there.
It's crazy. He's in better shape than I am. I have no fractured body parts.
This guy played on a fractured ankle. I feel like this guy, if he can go, he's going to go. And I'm telling you, if you get past the wild card round, I would not be surprised if
Dre, if they make it to the Super Bowl and he has a chance to play, then yes, bring him back.
Divisional round. I'm telling you right now, this guy's a monster. He'll be like, I'm ready to come back.
Dude, if Sterling was here right now, he would be like, what are you talking about?
Good God.
And his face would get really purple.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying.
Why? Suffering succotash. What is that from?
He's got his little. He has a slight lisp, a little bit. That's what I'm saying, you know. But anyway, I think that
Sterling, he brought it up. I didn't, so don't be pissed at me.
Whatever. He should have been here to defend himself. I think that if they move off of Brandon Ayuk, there's a good chance that they sign a pass rusher. And that they might even give Juwan Jennings like a 2-year contract, but I think they let him walk.
I really like Juwan.
Yeah.
I really hope, they can find a way to keep him next year and facilitate some sort of contract, because say what you want about him, he's just a dependable guy. He is a team guy. More than you could say that about what's his nuts. Whoop.
Well, he's almost like a tight end, really, so it's kind of like, well...
Okay. All right, guys, real quick, we're going to do score predictions, and then we are going to get out of here. 49ers v. Rams. I think it's a 1 o'clock game. I'm pretty sure.
For you guys, the 1 o'clock game. It's a 10 o'clock game for me in the West
rain
Coast.
Turning into snow. It's going to be in the 30s. It's going to be windy. I will let you go first, Dre. What is your score prediction for us versus Cleveland Browns?
Well, let me pull this up real quick because this was pretty shocking to say the least. So let me just share the screen here before I get my prediction because this will say a lot about how I feel. There it is. This was practice today. They did an outside practice to get them ready to play in the snow, perhaps.
Awesome. Tell me you didn't play in this as a kid.
No, I'm on the West Coast, man. It doesn't snow over here.
Okay. Well, when I was growing up, when I was a teenager, we used to play backyard ball all the time, including in rain, or excuse me, in snow. And it was amazing. It was the greatest thing. You'd get snow down your pants, up your shirt, up your nose.
No, thank you.
Great. Oh, but
don't like
dude,
it. Don't like it. Don't
the
like
smell.
it.
How about in spring or fall, the smell of outside and it's like all over you. This is great stuff. But go ahead.
I think this is going to be a run-heavy game. It's going to be an ugly game. It's going to be a game where you have to fight for every yard. There'll be some passes here and there, but not a lot of deep shots down the field. I think Niners get the win, and they win this game 17-10.
It's pretty close to where I'm going with it. Niners don't play well in bad weather. Brock Purdy doesn't play well in bad weather. 49ers coming off, at least with Brock Purdy, he played a stinker last week. So I expect a conservative game plan regardless of the weather. 49ers, I feel like they're doing, like you said, short passes, a lot of run game, and depending on their defense to figure out a way to contain Shedeur Sanders, which personally I don't think it's going to be that hard. I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm right. I'm going to go 16-10. 49ers win. So pretty close. I think. What were you, 17-10?
I was gonna say 14-10, but I was like, maybe they squeak in one more kick.
I think the Niners get one touchdown, and the rest are a bunch of field goals.
Yeah,
and that's all we're gonna do. I just don't see a high-scoring game. One, because you got to protect Brock from himself. But I don't think either side's gonna really be trying to throw the ball downfield. See if the Niners can get their running game going. Yeah. I think they have something going with Robinson intermixing with Christian McCaffrey.
I think this is a game where you're going to see a lot of Robinson and CMC combination.
Yeah,
I saw somebody say Guerrero. You're not going to see Guerrero.
You're not going to see Guerrero
fumble the ball.
Yeah, he's going to drop the ball on the ground, and then we're going to be mad at him. And then you're going to say, why did you ever start him? You should have started Robinson. But, yeah, that is going to do it for us. We will return next week, I would assume at full strength. I think next week, no, we're in a bye next week, correct?
Yeah, but we're going to do a show anyway.
We're going to do a show anyway. We'll do like a mid-season update or something, like a mid-season recap. But that's going to do it for us. Everybody, have a great rest of your Friday afternoon, evening, wherever you are. Take care. Stay safe and healthy. Go Niners. And we'll talk to you guys on the other side. Peace.